Have you ever wondered whether the American government has secrets it doesn't want you to know? This question has ignited the curiosity of many, sparking debates, discussions, and an insatiable quest for the truth. Welcome, truth seekers, to the unfolding narrative of government concealment, a tale as old as the government itself. Let's set the stage. Imagine a world where every action and decision of those in power is transparent, where no information is hidden from the public. An idyllic notion, isn't it? But alas, we are far from this ideal. Governments, including the American government, have a long history of keeping secrets. This isn't always done with malicious intent. Sometimes it's a matter of national security, protection of sensitive information, or simply to prevent mass panic. But what happens when these secrets start to pile up? When the line between protecting the public and deceiving them starts to blur. That's where the concept of government cover-ups comes into play. These are situations where information that should be public knowledge is intentionally hidden. This could range from undisclosed military operations, secret research projects, to unexplained phenomena that defy our understanding of the world. Over the years, numerous conspiracy theories have emerged, questioning the validity of official statements and seeking to expose the truth lurking beneath. Some of the most famous ones include the alleged cover-up of extraterrestrial life, the moon landing, and even the assassination of certain high-profile personalities. These theories, whether true or not, highlight the public's deep-seated mistrust and their desire to uncover the truth. It's a fascinating, if somewhat unsettling, journey we are about to embark on. So, fasten your seatbelts, keep an open mind, and brace yourself for a roller coaster ride through the murky depths of secrecy and deception. Let's dive into the mysterious world of American government cover-ups. The history of American government cover-ups begins far earlier than you might think. As we delve into the annals of the past, we find a tangled web of secrecy and manipulation that has its roots in the very foundation of the United States. Let's take a step back to the late 18th century, the era of the Founding Fathers. While these visionaries were crafting a nation built on the principles of freedom and democracy, they were also wrestling with the delicate balance of power and information. The need for secrecy, for covert operations and clandestine activities was already apparent in these early days. Unbeknownst to many, Benjamin Franklin, one of the most revered figures in American history, was a master of espionage during the Revolutionary War. His role in the American intelligence network was a significant factor in the U.S. victory, but it also marked the beginning of a culture of governmental secrecy. As the nation grew, so did the complexity of its political landscape. The government, now responsible for the protection and well-being of millions, found itself entangled in a growing web of international politics and power struggles. With national security at stake, the need for secrecy became even more paramount. Covert operations, clandestine activities, and yes, cover-ups, became tools in the arsenal of the government. However, it wasn't just about national security. Political gain, personal interest, and the preservation of power also played significant roles in the birth of these cover-ups. From the Teapot Dome scandal of the 1920s, where government officials were implicated in bribery and corruption, to the infamous Watergate scandal that shook the nation in the 1970s, these cover-ups were not just about protecting the nation, but also about safeguarding political and personal interests. So you see, the birth of cover-ups in the American government is not a recent phenomenon. It's a practice deeply embedded in the nation's history, a byproduct of the balance of power, the need for security, and the pursuit of personal and political interests. These early cover-ups laid the groundwork for the conspiracy theories we see today. The Cold War era was a hotbed for government cover-ups. The chessboard of global politics was riddled with secret alliances, covert operations, and undisclosed agendas. Amidst the shadowy dance of international relations, two incidents stand out: the U-2 spy plane incident and the Bay of Pigs invasion. Let's cast our minds back to the late 50s. The U-2 spy plane incident was a major international scandal, revealing the truth of covert U.S. attempts to spy on the Soviet Union. The U-2's high-altitude surveillance was initially denied by the U.S. government, who claimed it was merely a weather research aircraft that had gone off course. This narrative quickly unraveled when the Soviets produced the captured pilot, the plane wreckage, and the damning photographic evidence. The U.S. was forced to admit to the espionage, causing a significant dent in their international image. Fast forward a few years to the early 60s, and we encounter the infamous Bay of Pigs invasion. The U.S., in an effort to overthrow Fidel Castro's regime in Cuba, sponsored an invasion by Cuban exiles. When the invasion failed, the U.S. government initially denied involvement. However, the truth came to light when investigative journalists and insiders began to reveal the government's role. This fiasco not only failed to oust Castro, but also further strained the relationship between the U.S. and Cuba, driving the latter closer to the Soviet Union. These incidents weren't just blemishes on the historical record, they were betrayals, instances where the government chose deception over transparency. This had a profound impact on the public's trust in the government. Doubts were sown, and the seeds of skepticism began to sprout. Trust, once lost, is challenging to regain, and these cover-ups left lingering doubts in the minds of many. These Cold War cover-ups continue to fuel conspiracy theories to this day. They serve as reminders of a time when the government's word was not always its bond, and the truth was a casualty of global politics. They remind us that in the world of political chess, pawns are often the last to know the game's real stakes. In the modern era, government cover-ups have taken on a new form. Today, they're not just about secret operations and classified documents. The digital age has transformed the very nature of these clandestine activities. Let's delve into some alleged modern-day cover-ups. One of the most controversial examples in recent memory is the National Security Agency, or NSA, surveillance scandal. In 2013, a former CIA employee named Edward Snowden leaked classified information that revealed the extent to which the NSA was spying on American citizens. This wasn't just a case of intercepting a few phone calls. No, this was mass surveillance on an unprecedented scale. The government claimed it was a necessary measure for national security, but many saw it as a gross invasion of privacy. Another instance that sparked heated debates was the alleged manipulation of social media during the 2016 presidential election. Accusations flew left and right, pointing fingers at government involvement in spreading misinformation to sway public opinion. The government denied these allegations, but the seeds of doubt were already planted. These examples show how technology has become a double-edged sword. It's a tool that can be used for transparency and communication, but also for surveillance and deception. The internet allows for the rapid spread of information, true or false, and this has undoubtedly changed the landscape of cover-ups. Conspiracy theories have always existed, but the digital age has given them a wider platform than ever before. Theories that once would have been confined to fringe groups are now shared and debated by millions online. This has led to a new form of cover-up, where the truth is often buried beneath a mountain of misinformation. So, where does that leave us? If anything, it makes the quest for the truth even more complex. In an age where information is abundant yet often misleading, deciphering the reality from the deception can be a daunting task. These modern cover-ups leave us wondering what else the government might be hiding. But one thing is certain: the era of digital technology has forever changed the nature of government secrecy. Government cover-ups have a lasting impact on society. This statement may seem like a bold claim, but when we delve into the consequences of such actions, the repercussions become clear. Cover-ups, especially those orchestrated by government entities, can severely erode public trust. When the truth is kept hidden, the public's faith in the government's transparency and integrity can wane. It's like a crack in a dam. Once it starts, it's only a matter of time before the wall comes tumbling down. And when the dam of trust breaks, it's not just water that floods out, but a wave of skepticism, doubt, and disillusionment. This erosion of trust doesn't just stay within the confines of the government. It flows into every conversation, every news report, every social media post. When the public's trust is compromised, it paves the way for the spread of misinformation. It's a breeding ground for false narratives and half-truths, which can be as damaging, if not more, than the original cover-up. Misinformation, once it takes root, can be incredibly difficult to eradicate. It can spread like wildfire, fueled by the oxygen of public distrust. And where does this lead? To the rise of conspiracy theories. Theories that can divide communities, instigate fear, and perpetuate a cycle of mistrust and misinformation. Conspiracy theories, while fascinating to explore, can often overshadow the real issues at hand. They can divert attention away from the truth and lead us down rabbit holes of speculation and conjecture. This is not just an issue for the theorists themselves, but for society as a whole. It can create divisions, fear, and unrest. The impact of government cover-ups is far-reaching. It's not just about the secrets kept hidden, but the ripple effects that follow. It's about the erosion of trust, the spread of misinformation, and the rise of conspiracy theories. It's about how these elements intertwine and feed off each other, creating a complex web of consequences. The legacy of these cover-ups continues to shape our society today. Our understanding of the past, our interpretation of the present, and our expectations for the future are all influenced by this legacy. And it's up to us to navigate this complex landscape, seeking truth and fostering trust. Can we ever truly uncover the truth behind government cover-ups? This is a question that has haunted many for decades. It's a question that's launched countless investigations, heated debates, and even darker suspicions. Uncovering the truth, as one might expect, is no easy task. It's akin to peeling back the layers of an onion, each one revealing a new, often more complicated layer underneath. And sometimes the truth is so deeply buried that it feels like we're digging into an endless abyss. Yet there are those who dare to venture into this abyss, armed with nothing but their determination and a relentless pursuit of truth. Investigative journalists, for example, have a long history of attempting to expose cover-ups. They meticulously sift through countless documents, conduct interviews, and piece together intricate puzzles in their quest for truth. Their work requires a deep sense of commitment and an unflinching courage to stand up against powerful forces. Then, there are the whistleblowers, the insiders who risk everything to bring hidden truths to light. They often face tremendous personal and professional repercussions for their actions. Yet, they persist, driven by a profound sense of duty to the public. But the road to the truth is fraught with challenges. Government cover-ups are complex, often shrouded